The US plans to depend on airstrikes to prevent a resurgence of Al-Qaeda now since the US troops have left Afghanistan. But experts and some lawmakers are skeptical about the effectiveness of the so-called over-the-horizon strategy, reports AFP. Announcing the complete withdrawal of US troops in April, President Joe Biden vowed he would not allow a comeback of Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, where Osama bin Laden hatched the September 11, 2001 attacks on New York and Washington. Since then, the Pentagon has repeatedly claimed it is capable of keeping Al-Qaeda and Islamic State terrorists in Afghanistan in check through over-the-horizon strikes from US bases or aircraft carriers. Over-the-horizon operations are difficult but absolutely possible, and intelligence that supports them comes from a variety of sources and not just US boots on the ground. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin told the House Armed Services Committee on Wednesday. In his congressional testimony, Austin declined to publicly divulge much about the Pentagon's over-the-horizon plans, telling committee members he could provide more details in a closed classified session. A number of experts and lawmakers expressed skepticism about the efficacy of long-distance strikes on landlocked Afghanistan, which is thousands of miles from the nearest US base. Kill terrorists in Afghanistan from over the horizon? Good luck, headlined an article by James Holmes, a professor of maritime strategy at the Naval War College. Over-the-horizon operations work well when the battlefield lies within easy reach of sea or air forces, Holmes said in the piece published on the National Security website 1945.com. Land-based aircraft flying from Persian Gulf airstrips must detour southward around hostile Iranian airspace into the Arabian Sea and northward through Pakistani airspace to strike targets in Afghanistan, said Holmes, a former US Navy officer. Carrier aircraft have it easier from a distance standpoint since their mobile airfield can linger in the Arabian Sea, he added. But even so, the Afghan capital of Kabul lies close to 700 miles from the closest point along the Pakistani seacoast, Holmes said. In-flight refueling will be a must, he added. Mike Watts, a Republican lawmaker from Florida, accused Biden and Austin of peddling a fiction when it came to over-the-horizon capability. Unlike in Iraq, where US troops fought IS with Iraqi government forces, or Syria, where Americans partnered with Kurdish fighters, the United States does not have any allies on the ground in Afghanistan or any nearby bases, Waltz said. Those drones have to fly all the way around Iran, all the way up Pakistan, and lose 70 to 80% of their fuel before they even get anywhere near a target, said Waltz, a former US Army Green Beret who served in Afghanistan. In the early 2000s, the United States had military bases in Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan, but it is no longer present in Central Asia, which Russia considers its sphere of influence. The Taliban this week accused the United States of violating international law with drone flights over Afghan territory and warned of negative consequences if they continued. News Desk, Kaumudy Global.